Hello and happy Thursday. My name is Michael Leeserman here with the Trial Guide's Tip of the Day. The date is January 16th, 2025, and our tip today comes from Jim Perdue's book, Courtroom Storytelling. What we are asking the jury to do is build a wall against a continuation of unsafe and dangerous driving, medical, or business practices. We do that by condemning the practice with liability findings and awarding full damages. To do that, we have to frame our case and tell our story, casting the jury, not the plaintiff, as the protagonist. Yeah, brilliant. So Jim Perdue said that. That's really the crux of Carl Bettinger's book, 12 Heroes, One Voice. And it's something that took me a while in my career to really understand, right? Because as trial lawyers, most of us have studied story, and whether it's the McGee book or taken playwriting or story writing classes, or studied the Joseph Campbell hero's journey. Anything that you study about story, we'll talk about, of course, the protagonist, the hero's journey, right? There's something that happens out of the ordinary. There's challenges that are faced, and it's a story. If there's some tension, if there's no tension, there's no story. And it's very interesting when you think, okay, so I want to tell my client's story as a plaintiff's lawyer. All right, I can do that. What about this idea that we really want to focus on the bad choices, the poor conduct, the wrongdoing of the people we've sued, the defendants? Maybe we tell the story that way. Tell the story from the defense point of view. But we don't want the defense as the protagonist. That's one way to do it, but then what about your client's story? So there's these two stories. What's happened to your client, how that intersects with the corporate wrongdoers' story, choices, ill planning, so on. And then we can take those two things and we could figure out how to integrate that if we were just like writing a book. But we're not writing a book. We're presenting a trial real time to jurors in a courtroom. And so we have to make sure to involve them. And so that's the brilliance of what Jim Perdue is saying here. We make the jurors the protagonists. It's the juror's story. It involves our client and the wrongdoer, but it's the juror's story. What does that mean? Well, Jim Perdue's laid it out here. No, if we want to say that and we can show there's bad practices, there's systemic problems, there were either stupid choices or evil choices intended with the knowing consequence that they would do harm, well, then that's about the liability in the case, right? And then what do we do about it? That's juror motivation, right? The jurors must do something. That must be part of the story, right? Not just looking back at the past, at what happened, and, oh, wasn't that so bad? But here we have a problem. We all have a problem here. Society has a problem. Our community has a problem. These trucks are driving through our neighborhood too fast, or these healthcare providers are ignoring whatever they're ignoring. Whatever the wrong is, you bring that to the jury, and that's their motivation to actually be the ones that change this. They're the protagonists in the story. Does that make sense? We're telling the story of corporate malfeasance when that's the case, or bad actions on the wrongdoer's part. We're telling the story of our client and the challenges that they've faced, the ones they've overcome, and the ones that they just can't without the jury's help. And then we're making that part of it, the jury's help, because we don't know how this story comes out. When we look at the next chapter, how that reads is up to the jury. So I'm very curious. I believe strongly in this. I think this is very much the right mindset to approach trials and to be at trial. And this is how we bring ourselves and do well for our clients by involving the jury. I wonder, do you have thoughts about this? If so, put them in the comments, or feel free to reach out. I think this is very important. Let's pause and take a deep breath together. Just be grateful to be alive this Thursday. May the work that we do today help to reduce suffering in our lives and our clients' lives, and reduce suffering in the world. May the work that we do exemplify law at its finest, honorable and bringing good into the world. May we fiercely and compassionately champion our clients' causes. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. This can take you into a meditation practice, a prayer practice, or just let the sounds wash over you and pierce through you and remind you it's Thursday. Wake up, go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it.